such respect for the people of Iran as they try to take back their corrupt government. You will see great support from the United States at the appropriate time. Now, this bothers me. This tweet potentially bothers me more than the nuclear threat tweet. And here's why. The threshold for us to get into a nuclear conflict with North Korea is extremely high and very unlikely. We are closer simply because Donald Trump is a moron. We are. But the threshold for U.S. intervention is pretty low. We have a long track record in administration after administration after administration intervening in the domestic politics of a foreign nation and making bad situations worse. So when I pull this up and I think about Trump, such respect of his words, and this is what he says, such respect for the people of Iran as they try to take back their corrupt government, you will see great support from the United States. I'm sorry, I have to pause and say, exactly what do you mean? Great support from the United States, because when we've seen great support from the United States in previous interventions, we've made terrible situations even worse. Take a look at Libya, take a look at Syria, take a look at everywhere we have an American footprint. We have made bad situations worse. So the president saying this morning, first of all, let's make it clear. The president is not on the side of the Iranian people. The president is on the side of destabilizing the regime and undermining the regime. Now, as I said yesterday, if the people so choose to overthrow the bonds of their government and they want a different form of government and the majority of the people want that, then that's something that they should, that's their prerogative. As free people, that's what they should be able to do. However, the president is not interested in not the least bit concerned about the people of Iran in so much as he's interested in two things: destroying the nuclear agreement. That's first and foremost. And then if he can overthrow that regime, he absolutely would. And the problem with that tweet from this morning is that it represents a broad range of foreign policy actions that the United States can take, that the president can take based on his own prerogative, based on precedent set by George W. Bush, by Barack Obama. They have such leeway to go into these regions without any type of approval from authorization of use of military force, AUMF, from Congress. He has such latitude to be able just a range of options of actually putting troops there, of sending funding to fund, there are no quote unquote rebels at this point, but let's say a rebellion actually organizes. The president has tremendous ability to get involved in that manner. And considering the goals of neoconservatives in the United States of America, of which Donald Trump is a neoconservative, I hope we've dispelled with that notion that the president is a non-interventionist and that the president is anti-war, which was a line of lies that was peddled by quite a few people. Let me choose my words. I want to be precise. By a handful of progressive commentators, so-called progressive commentators with large audiences, were pushing this idea that Trump would be the anti-war president as compared to Hillary Clinton. I hope that we've dispelled with that notion at this point that Donald Trump is as much a neoconservative as Dick Cheney. Even if it's only to the extent that he has advisors around him, that he just does whatever the hell those advisors say. I firmly believe that the president of the United States has no idea what he's doing. He's genuinely just doing whatever is being put on his desk. What's being put on his desk is a combination of Republican neoliberal economic policies and Republican neoconservative foreign policies. And this is what is represented in this tweet, potentially, unless he's talking about diplomatic relationships, which I seriously doubt the president is speaking of that. I can guarantee you that the president is speaking of finding a way to foment a full-blown rebellion in Iran and to fund it and to send advisors from the United States to Iran, not for the purposes of creating a democracy that would represent the will of the people, but to undermine the regime that's currently there, no matter the outcome of what happens next. And this isn't to defend the regime. Quite a few people who fled Iran after the 1979 revolution. You know, there's quite a few human rights violations that can be laid at the feet of Iran. This is in no form or fashion a defense of the Iranian Revolution, right? This is 100% to say that every time the United States gets involved, we screw it up and we make a terrible situation that much worse.